How are we doing, guys? LUFC, Leeds United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2, match review of the game. Hugely disappointing today, and it's a day where we've given real belief to the teams trying to catch us. You know, Brentford today especially. I saw them this afternoon before the game. They looked absolutely fantastic. They looked like a team playing full of confidence, know exactly what they're doing. Front three scoring goals. Team's very efficient, best defence in the league. We've given them real belief today, not just because of their performance, but because of our result. No doubt about it. You know, the gap's only 6 points now. We've still got to go to Brentford. They can get the gap down to 3. You know, look, let's not make any mistake about it. We're still in a fantastic position. Absolutely anyone would have taken this position at the start of the season. And it's all cliches, you know, it's all well good me saying that. But let's just get a little bit of perspective. But at the end of the day, now is the time as well to say, you know what, this is kind of getting a bit borderline now, to where you start to really worry, because it's 1 win from 6. 1 win from 6, no matter what you say, you know, what teams have played, Birmingham away, West Brom away, Fulham away, tough games, etc, etc. 1 win in 6 is still not good enough. At this level, no matter what teams you play, 1 win in 6 is not going to get you promoted. You know, it's a time to kind of worry, because you look at those 6 games and you think, have we really justified anything more than that? You know, winning 1 game? You know, we look at the 1 game we've won, which is Birmingham. Birmingham, their player practically kicks the ball into his own net in the 90+7th minute. Yeah, a win's a win. 5 goals away from home, fantastic. There was nothing convincing about that game. You know, fantastic character, but in terms of the performance itself, wasn't very convincing, was it? You know, look at the character of the team. Fantastic in that game. Fantastic for most of the season. Absolutely no doubt about it. I don't think the character is the main problem. I think it's the performances that are really affecting us at the minute. You know, I think the last 6 games, even if you want to stretch into the 7th game, which was the whole win, the last home game we won, we were terrible that night. You know, I've said that we were terrible that night, and let's be honest, it's hard to pin it down to one thing, because it's not just one thing. You know, I think obviously nerves has played a part, but I do think we're handling nerves a bit better. You know, look at West Brom away a couple of days ago, a week and a half ago even. You know, when we went 1 down in that game after 30 seconds last season, we'd have crumbled and lost the game, no doubt about it. But this season we showed that character to get back into the game. Birmingham, we showed character to get back into the game. I just feel we're struggling to break teams down at the minute. You know, let's make no mistake about that. We are struggling to break teams down. You know, today I think we had a 0.72 expected goal. And, you know, I've seen a lot of criticism of Bamford. Let's be honest, I'm going to be honest, I've been massively supportive of Bamford this season. I think he's had a fantastic season. But today he had a poor game. Today he missed big chances. But at the end of the day, it wasn't just down to that. You know, it shows we're not creating quality chances when you have an expected goal that low. Look, stats aren't everything, but it just gives you a little bit of an indicator. You know, we are having problems playing against teams who defend in low blocks. You know, we'll press high with their midfield and attackers, and then the defence will drop back in a low block. Yes, it gives a big gap between the defence and midfield, as I mentioned in the preview. But when you have those, when you perfect the press, like Sheffield Wednesday did, and you defend as well as Wednesday did, you know, it's hard to break down. It really is hard to break down. There's just nothing you can say other than that, and we're struggling with that at the minute. I think obviously the injuries is playing a part as well. So there is mitigating factors here. You know, it's not something that I'm saying, oh my word, that's it, it's all over, we're not getting promoted. Let's not be absolutely ridiculous here. Let's not be ridiculous. There's nothing like that. But it's time to take a bit of note now and say, you know what, maybe this is a little bit more than a blip. Maybe we have got to address technical issues. Maybe we have got to look at maybe making certain changes. You know, Tyler Roberts isn't fully fit. You know how big a fan of Tyler Roberts I am. But if we're going to struggle to have Tyler Roberts fit for this season, we clearly need someone in that centre of the park who's got a bit of acceleration, a bit of pace, and can play that hybrid 10 role, which you talk about. The gap, you know, the 10 role between being a number 8 and a number 10, where you, on the ball, you're trying to create like a number 10, but off the ball, you're defending like an 8 kind of thing. And that's the only sort of player in this squad who I think can play that role is Tyler Roberts. We need another option now, because as good as Tyler Roberts is, he's no good to us if he's not fit. You know, no doubt about it. I'm not saying let's get rid of Tyler Roberts. Absolutely not. I might have sounded like I'm saying that. Absolutely not. I think it's critical we get Tyler Roberts back. But in the meantime, you know, we've spoken about Ian Pervader. You know, of course, look, you know, I know he's not an experienced player, but at least it gives us another option. It gives us the type of player we need. A bit of acceleration, maybe a goal threat, a bit of creativity. Someone on the ball who can control the game and dictate a game. Just need someone like that at the minute, because we are massively missing Tyler Roberts. We are massively missing a couple of players really, and yeah, you know, it's just a shocking day all round really. But let's start with the start of the game. You know, obviously we set up in the 4-1-4-1 as expected. Only real changes with Barry Douglas coming in. for LUFC, which I was not sure what the left back situation would be, but Douglas came in for this game. Just looking at my notes from the game in general, I made a couple of notes as the game was going on. Sheffield Wednesday, kind of a 4-3-3/4-1-4-1. It looked more of a 4-3-3 to me, with Bannon, Kieran Lee and Massimo Luogno absolutely dominating the game. You know, certainly the last sort of 30-40 minutes, they absolutely dominated the game. And that was where we struggled. You know, I look at the general notes of the game. You know, I thought the first half performance was good. You know, I'll be honest, I thought the first half we were good. We weren't excellent. There were certain things we didn't do very well. I thought defensively, we looked solid. We looked absolutely solid at the back. I don't think we gave them anything in that first half. I don't think they had the shot until the 35th minute, which blazed over into the south stand. And it was a typical Gary Monk away performance up until that point. You know, they weren't doing anything. They were solid at the back, to be fair to them, as you would expect off a Gary Monk team, but they weren't doing anything with the ball at that point in the game. We were having a lot of the possession. We were having a lot of the play. We were restricting them. They looked, you know, Bannon, to be fair, from minute one was fantastic to win this game. But I didn't think we'd done that much wrong in the first half. We had two big chances, one for Jack Harrison, one for Patrick Bamford. You know, and we have had chances. Just look at my general notes here. You know, we had the one for Helder Costa as well. Fantastic bit of play on that left-hand side. Barry Douglas, great cutback into Helder Costa, and he's got his back like this. He's sort of leaning back like this, and he's trying to strike a shot. You can't hit a shot like that. You know, I'm not talking like I'm a professional footballer, but when anyone who's had any kind of coaching, being in a team, etc., in football will know that the first thing you're taught when you're striking the ball is do not lean back. Helder Costa's done that twice today. You know, we're talking about a £15 million player here. You know, and look, I think Helder Costa's an amazing talent, and I don't want to criticise Helder Costa because he's had some amazing moments in this game. You know, I think the only time we actually broke any lines, you know, by ourselves today was through Helder Costa. You know, lovely drop of the shoulder, took on 3 or 4 players, created a good chance out of it, but it's just we're misfiring. We're misfiring at the minute. You know, Patrick Bamford's missed chances, Helder Costa's missed chances. You know, players you think, well, you know, we know the quality they can produce. That's why maybe why I'm being a little bit more critical of those two players. I was just very disappointed with the chances they had, that they missed them so badly as well. Not just, you know, slight misses. We're talking blazing them over the bar kind of thing, and it's a worry. You know, I think there's nerves in front of goal. I don't think we're creating that many quality chances like we can. And that's the thing. You know, I just felt at half time in this game we had to take more risks. I didn't think enough players were breaking the lines, you know, with passing or with dribbling. Only Helder Costa really showing any of that in terms of himself. You know, dribbling, you know, taking the game by the scruff of the neck to an extent. You know, it was only with Helder Costa doing that in one instance. You know, he didn't really do anything else in the first half. And then you're looking at sort of like, you know, Click was okay on the ball, nice and tidy in possession. KP was playing a couple of nice little passes, but it was all too, you know, sideways passing, you know, no real intent, just keeping the ball, being patient. But we're being too patient because Sheffield Wednesday are an organised team. They are hard to break down. And we found that to our cost today. You know, we kept, you know, waiting for the spaces to open up, and they didn't open up. They did not open up at all. And the only times they looked like opening up in the first half, and when we really did put Sheffield Wednesday under pressure, was making line-breaking passes, nice little vertical passes forward, passes into space. You know, risky passes. You know, if you lose the ball in those areas, we're in a massive counter-attack threat. But to win games like that, you've got to take risks at the end of the day. You have to take risks. Because if you can't carry on doing what we did in that game, sideways, you know, square passing, etc., you're not going to break down the Sheffield Wednesday team like that. They're so compact. They kept things really tight. You know, the press as well when we were in our half of the pitch. I thought the only real person who looked like really breaking them down was Ben White. I thought his passing was absolutely fantastic today. I thought he was back to his best for much of the game today. I know we conceded 2 goals, but there's no way you put that down to Ben White at all. I felt sorry for Ben White, to be honest. And yeah, you know, it's just so frustrating. Going to the second half, and the second half performance, wow, it's not good enough. It's simply not acceptable, that second half performance. You know, yes, I know it's the Championship. Yes, I know we're not going to play well every single week, but that was really poor. That's not good enough, is it? It's just miles off the standards you have to be at the top 2 level. You know, Sheffield Wednesday were playing defensive and still dominated the game. We did not put them in under any pressure in that second half. Okay, we had a chance 2 minutes into it for Patrick Bamford. Lovely little ball in off Helder Costa. Poor finish off Patrick Bamford. But after that, I can't remember us having a shot. I might be wrong, but I can't remember us having a shot. Sheffield Wednesday completely dominated the game after that, and they got themselves the win. Whether Sheffield Wednesday deserved the win or not, I'm not going to get into that. One thing I can say is, we can't have any complaints because we were terrible in that second half. Absolutely shocking second half performance from us. And I just didn't think we addressed any of the problems. You know, I looked at the substitutions we made today, and look, you know, I don't like criticising Marcelo Bielsa, but today I've got to look at those substitutions and say, you know what? That didn't help matters at all. You know, we're doing fine defensively. An hour into the game, absolutely fine defensively. Yes, Barry Douglas has had a bad 2 minutes against Jacob Murphy. And the next thing, you see Barry Douglas coming off. Barry Douglas, I thought in the first half, was fantastic in the first half. Look, I know the second half's a different matter. He wasn't good in the second half. He was having a bad 2 or 3 minutes. But at the end of the day, you know, his passing quality, he was one of those players you looked at and thought, okay, from deep, he might be able to feed Jack Harrison. That left-hand side looked okay in the first half for me. Completely went to pieces in the second half. I don't want to have a go at Alioski because Ejan Alioski is not a left-back. You know, I keep saying it, he is not a left-back in the back four. He's a left wing-back or a left winger or a right winger. He is not a left-back. We saw it last season, in the big games last season. It didn't work, Alioski at left-back. He's had a couple of decent games in there. But in general, his best games for Leeds United have been as a left winger or a left wing-back or a right winger. You know, I can't remember any games where I've looked at Alioski and thought, wow, he looks like a really good left-back here. Someone in the back four who can defend as well as he can attack. We all know Alioski's strength is attacking. He presses the ball well, but in terms of defensive discipline, pure defensive qualities, tackling, stopping crosses, it's not Alioski's game. And he really struggled when he came on, and that left back spot went to pieces. I'm not saying Barry Douglas was doing well in that second half because he was having a bad 2 or 3 minutes, but that's all it was. It wasn't, you know, attack after attack after attack was coming on that side. I just don't understand why we made that change. We deemed Alioski not good enough at left back after 45 minutes against West Brom. We then bring him back in for the last half an hour against Sheffield Wednesday at 0-0. I just can't make any sense of that. Unless Barry Douglas was carrying an injury. And you know I hate criticising Marcelo Bielsa, but I just couldn't see the logic behind that substitution. And look, you know, he's done an absolutely amazing job. So, you know, don't get too far into this. The players to blame today as much as anything. You know, I think the players take most of the blame, but the substitutions didn't help matters. But the players who came on should have to do better. Alioski, even though he's playing out of position, he has to do better more at the other end of the pitch. You know, if you're playing out of position or not out of position, you can still cross a ball. You know, as much as I said Marcelo Bielsa shouldn't have made the changes, players still have to take responsibility. The players, if they don't get promoted, I'll still stand by what I said. It'll be down to them and not Marcelo Bielsa. Marcelo Bielsa, as far as I'm concerned, with his tactics, with his brilliance, what he brings to this team, will get us promoted. It's the players that will fail to get us promoted, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's told that well, but it'll be the players who cost us promotion this season, not Marcelo Bielsa for me. You know, we've had some, yes, he's made some mistakes, but all in all, over the season, you know, we're here because of Marcelo Bielsa. So yeah, and then the other substitutions, Mateus Click coming off, really. You know, we then had the midfield of a winger in Pablo Hernandez and a full-back in Stuart Dallas. It didn't look good, it looked disjointed, we lost complete control, no surprises there. And yeah, it's really disappointing, guys. And look, I might get a few dislikes for this, but I have to give my honest opinion. I look at that, yes, I know where we're on the table, but that's quite irrelevant really if you're thinking about it. 1 win in 6 is what is relevant. What's happening right in the here and now is what's relevant. That's what's going to determine what happens in the next 4 months. Not what we did in August, September, November when we had that amazing run. What's happening right now? What's going to happen in the January transfer window? You know, with the injuries, the situation, the suspensions, individual form. You know, that's going to be what determines it. You know, not what we did 2 or 3 weeks ago. Not where we were 2 or 3 weeks ago. That doesn't matter now. What's happening right now is what matters. You know, 1 win in 6 is a worry. It's a worry, but it's not a situation where I'm saying, oh, that's it now. It's not at all. You know, we're going to have the odds result like that, but it's the fact that the last 4 home games, you know, other than the first hour or so against Cardiff, have been terrible. We've been terrible at home. You know, we're really struggling against teams who are high pressing us with the midfield and strikers, and then dropping deep, sitting back, and keeping things nice and tight, and trusting the back four to restrict us, and that's what's happened. And it's just, we're just not finding the answers to this. And for me, it has to be getting more line breaks into the team. Tyler Roberts back into the team as quickly as possible. Jamie Shackleton, just someone who can take the ball, accelerate at pace through the middle of the pitch, break things down, break down the defensive midfielders, split things open. and then find the wingers or find Bamford. You know, just break teams down that way, because at the minute actually, we have control of games. You know, Matthijs Klick, fantastic player, but you need different attributes in the midfield. Matthijs Klick, amazing player, best number 8 in the league for me, but you need other attributes as well. You can't just rely on Matthijs Klick. He's not going to be someone who's going to dribble past a player, accelerate at pace. It's not what Matthijs Klick does. You know, different players have different attributes, and I just think too many players are too similar. You know, Stuart Dallas has got too many similar qualities to Matthijs Klick, in the sense that you're playing a similar way. I'm not saying Stuart Dallas is anywhere near the same kind of centre midfielder quality of Matthijs Klick. I'm just saying the similar types of player. You need differences. You need different types of players who will take on players, and players who will find passes and control games. You need different qualities in the team, for me, and that's why I'd look to make changes. I've not even got onto the goals yet. Let's not highlight it too much. It's clear on the videos, you know, the highlights, etc, etc, who's at fault for the goals. Yeah, all I'm going to say is, look at Illan Meslier's performance against Arsenal and compare it to Kiko's last 7 or 8 games, and it's chalk and cheese. Meslier, for me, simply has to come into the team now. And you might say, Kiko's done this and that, Meslier's inexperienced, but you have to be ruthless. If we want to get promotion this season, we have to be ruthless. We have to say, yes, Kiko, you've done good things this season, but at the end of the day, your last 7 or 8 games not been good enough. Simple as that. You have to come out of the team. We have to make a change there. And it's ruthless. Yeah, okay, you could say that's playing back into form, but at the end of the day, you have to make tough decisions. If you want to get promoted at this level, you have to make tough decisions. And yeah, you know what? I think that is a decision we have to make. You know, look at Meslier's performance, and yeah, it's a clear change to make now. Kiko's making far too many mistakes. I think Kiko Casilla is a good goalkeeper. You know, since we've had a bit of a WhatsApp group chat about it, I've made a couple of comments about Kiko Casilla, you know, his performances, but he is a good goalkeeper. But at the minute, he's making far too many mistakes. Start of the season, he's making far too many mistakes. I'm being quite consistent in that view. He's made some amazing saves this season, but right here, in the here and now, I don't care. I don't really give a shit, to be honest, what he did in October, November, December, when we went on that clean sheet run. What I care about is what's happened in the last 6 or 7 games. You know, he's been in poor form. You know, so many players have been in poor form. We've got to be ruthless now. You know, we saw what happened last season. There were massive drops in form, fitness issues, etc, etc. You know, the same, I'm not going to name individuals, but the same kind of players, not really looking comfortable in the big games. And again, there's signs of it again. We've got to be ruthless and say, look, you know, if you can't perform in a big game, you shouldn't be playing in a big game. That's just my opinion on that. You know, in big moments, high pressure situations, I think certain players handle them better than others. And I certainly look at Tyler Robertson, one of those players who handles the situation better. Pablo Hernandez, again, you know, if you're going to play Pablo, he has to play on the right wing for me. I know the temptation to get Hernandez and Costa into the same team, it doesn't work. It has to be one or the other for me. It has to be one or the other. You know, you can rotate between them, but you can't have Pablo Hernandez playing in the middle of the park. You know, he's not that type of player. He's playing far too deep to affect games for me in the centre of the pitch. He has to be on that right wing where he can get into space. He has that free roll to drift wherever he wants to drift, pick up the ball wherever he wants to pick up the ball. In the centre of the park, he's far too restrictive for me. And that's just my opinion on it, guys, really. It's not good at the minute. It's not good, but we're still in a good position. Let's make that clear. We're still in a good position. But you know what? That was a real warning sign that today. That was a real warning sign that we've got to be ruthless and say, look, there's some players who are simply not performing for this team. Last 4 or 5 games, they've been terrible. Been absolutely terrible on an individual basis. I've alluded to some of them today. I'm not going to name individual names directly. But it's clear, you know, we're conceding far, far too many goals. We've got to solve that problem. And yeah, you know, we need to look at changing the middle of the park for me as well. And that's all you can say on it, really. You know, it's just a really disappointing day. But we go again. But guys, make sure you check out Conor and Joe's match reviews of the game as well. Hopefully to get a player analysis out for tomorrow too. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. And just a massive shout out as well, before the game, when everyone was in high spirits, before the Brentford game, I met a Leeds TV fan, Hodgie from Donny. If you're watching this, mate, great to meet you today. Sorry about the result, but look forward to meeting you at the next game as well, just in the south stand there. But yeah, just an unbelievably disappointing day. You know, obviously Brentford winning, but fair play to Brentford. They're a good team, and now it's time for us to step up and show our promotion credentials. That's the thing now. We learn lessons from this. It could be a blessing in disguise, this game, as long as we learn the lessons from it. This season, when we've had disappointments, we've reacted well. We have reacted well, to be fair. Let's do that again. And let's go again, guys. 19 games to go, 19 cup finals. See you later, guys.